Hey guys, so we got a new application that I really wanted to go over with you guys because it's so much easier. So I'm going to pull that up. So this is what it looks like. Um, it is so simplified. So now it's just 2 pages, which is great. So I want to kind of go through it with you. So this first box is going to be your student demographics. And so it's very self-explanatory for the most part. You have your name, address, things like that. These things, such as ethnicity and race, are just for reporting purposes. So if they could fill those out. This question right here, we get asked a lot why that's there. So TRIO is another program just like us. We call it our sister program, and they offer a lot of the same services that we do. They offer completing the FAFSA, they offer tutoring and things like that. So in other regions of our state, such as Utah County, if a student is enrolled in TRIO, then they cannot be in Gear Up. However, that is not the case for our region. That means that they can be in both programs. So that is an important question to know, just so that we can track that. We have to try really hard not to duplicate services. So if a student goes to SUU with TRIO, they cannot go with us. So we do have a way of tracking that. So that is an important thing for us to know. All right. This right here is just the parent information, very self-explanatory. Okay, so for our program, we are dependent on if they are financially able to be in our program. So we follow the federal free and reduced lunch list. So we do update our application every year with those updated numbers from the government. So any Title I school or school district does not have to qualify for financial reasons. So for that reason, we have two separate applications. We have this one that we're looking at that has these federal requirements, and then one that we use for such as San Juan School District that we don't have to use that, and that means everyone qualifies. But this is something that we have to use. If a student has been in foster care or proctor care, and proctor care is like if they're living with a grandparent, then they do not have to fill out the financial purposes. But if they do live with mom and dad, things are good, then they do need to fill this out. So what you'll do is right here, this yes and no is where they would mark whether they are eligible or not. So it reads very easily, depending on your household size, this is how much they can make. We do not require any sort of W-2s or tax statements or pay stubs or anything like that to verify. So when I talk to students or parents, I generally just say, hey, if you're in that ballpark, then we're good. Because I would hate for them earning an extra $100 a month for them to be like, well, it depends. Like, let me check. We do really want to be careful though on that we are following that to the best of our ability. All right, this next one is the media release. UVU does require this part. That way, if we do take pictures on a college tour or things like that, then we are able to post their pictures. And then this right here is the most important part of the entire thing. What this allows us to do is it allows us to work with the student. So this, and it has a list of everything that we're able to have right here. This allows us to get their transcripts. This allows us to see their attendance. It allows us to see their class schedule and all of those types of things. We have to have this. And so right down here, you can see that they agree to the authorization of release. We have to have that for them to be in the program. So that needs to be marked yes. Both the parent and the student have to sign that. And a lot of our schools, in order to get access to their student profile, some schools use Aspire, some use Powerhouse. The school will require you to file this in the student's file in the office, just so that they can verify that, yes, we do indeed have access. So this is so important. Okay. And that's the end of the application. I'll quickly show you the different one that does not have the free and reduced lunch. So it has all the same information. You'll notice the only thing is missing is now here on that first page is the media release. And then now down here is the information, the authorization for release, or FERPA is what we also call it. So you can explain this to kids in that way of like, hey, it's just a front and back application. That way we can work with you and we can offer you all of the services that Gear Up has. We can tutor, we go on college trips. We try to do STEM activities. We help with college applications. Scholarships is a big thing. And all of these services are free to you after you filled out this application. So that is something very, very important that we have to have. And this is huge. Afterwards, we do have a sticker that we have that just has us write in if they were accepted or not, which is based on if they are free reduced lunch or not. So we'll have it if they're accepted. You also need to write on there if they have an IEP. This means that they get those additional services because they are considered special education. We also need to know if they are an English language learner. That means that English is not their first language and that they get services for those. When you do turn in this application, we do require you to turn in an unofficial transcript. We need to have verification of their birthday and their student state ID number. And so you'll print this out and then you can either go to a counselor or the secretary and ask for an unofficial transcript, or once they are added to your account on Aspire or Powerhouse, then you are able to print that yourself. We are starting a new thing. It just has not quite been released yet, but they are working on a new online application through Cobro Compass, which is where we do all of our paperwork. It's so nice because as you're clicking these schools, so say I click on Lehigh High School, as I come down, there's a financial eligibility and they have to fill that out. Whereas if you came up here and say the students in San Juan High School, right there, that financial page disappears. So it's very intuitive, which is great. So all the information is the exact same on here. A lot of them are drop downs, media release, authorization. My favorite part is this. They can sign their name right here versus having to do like DocuSign or whatever. And then I could come over here and put mom. Okay. And then it submits. From there, it will go right into our system for us to approve and then move forward with that. You will still have to upload or send Sarah or our data admin a copy of their transcript. So this just has not been released quite yet, but it is coming. So do know that we are working on that. And if it's released by the time you watch this, I hope you love it. So those are the things about the application. It's very important that we do recruit. Our budget is solely dependent on how many students we have in the program. So we get a certain amount of money per student. And so for us to be able to go on activities and hire staff and do those things, we need to have a high number of students. So each year you'll get a number or a goal to reach in order for us to have that budget. So we really, really hope that you do put an emphasis on recruiting and that you are working towards that. So that way we can do extra things with our students. I hope that this video was informative and that you understand and that we are good. So let me know if you have any questions.